Yeah, Ellen, it happened right in the middle of that commercial warehouse along Raymer Avenue here in Fullerton. Firefighters battling a 4-alarm fire inside of that building. It appears the plane practically took a nosedive right through the center of the roof. You can see firefighters outside treating several injuries. There are reports of multiple casualties. We do not have a number. We are being told by the control tower this plane was making its final approach to Fullerton Airport. We can go ahead and widen all the way out for you and show you the proximity to the runway here, right on the approach path, no more than a couple of football fields away from the runway, right there in the center of your screen. Again, firefighters still trying to get a handle on this. We do not have a confirmed identifier yet of that aircraft. You can see firefighters on the roof of the building where smoke is continuing to billow, trying to cut lines through there to ventilate this fire. There are firefighters inside of there as well, trying to reach as many patients as they can, guys.
Well, and we also understand that evacuations are in order, so obviously anyone inside the building has been told to get out. Hopefully there are not severe injuries, but we are seeing them triage there just outside the building. Chris, you know, when you see where the airport is and the landing proximity there, it does strike very strange that the plane didn't deflect off of the roof at all. It does appear as if, and the straight lines, I think, are obvious due to the firefight. You know, they're cutting into the roof, but there's no wreckage on the roof, it doesn't seem. It seems like the plane just, as you mentioned, went straight into the building.
Yeah, and I use that verbiage because of the size of the hole. Look at the size of that hole. It's a small hole that is pierced through that building, relatively small, maybe about 20 feet wide, if that. And there you can actually see a little bit of possible wreckage there next to the hole. You can see firefighters keeping their distance, unsure of the security of that structure. They don't want to venture too close into that weak rooftop there, unknowing just how stable this building is at this point. Obviously, this will have major ramifications for the structural integrity of this warehouse. As you mentioned, we have confirmed they are in the process of evacuating this fairly sizable warehouse in the middle of a warehouse industrial area, again, right next to the approach path along Raymer Avenue here in Fullerton. Again, firefighters, more of them now arriving on scene here. There are a couple of ladders set up there. They appear to have hand lines stretched inside the building. A little bit of lighter smoke just in the time that we've been here. We were able to see, as we were approaching from downtown LA through the haze, a pretty thick layer of black smoke emanating from the building. The heaviest smoke has dissipated, but there is still a fair amount of fire producing that lighter smoke just under the rooftop there. So they have a lot to work with under there. They have to battle the actual contents of the building. Obviously, any fire, you have wreckage, you have, we don't know, a warehouse, so presumably a somewhat open layout in there. They are familiar with these buildings to a T because this is in their area of concern. And so they are familiar with these buildings. They're going to do their best to try and just get access to the fire at this point. First accessing the patients and then trying to put out the fire. Yeah,
the hope is, too, this being the day after New Year's Day, that perhaps it was a skeleton type of crew, maybe not as many people as a normal day, since it's a holiday week for many people. We can only hope.
And another thing, too, before we go back to Chris, we want to remind everybody, we are coming up on Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock. So in about 3 minutes, what we'll do is we will pause briefly to allow ourselves to get started on ABC 7. So we will have that broadcast as well. We might present a lot of the information that we're giving to you here on our 24/7 stream. But Chris, before we do that, we have under 3 minutes now. If we go back to that hole, what was interesting to me about that hole is the plane didn't even break the beams across the roof. You can see that part of that to the right there is the ventilation by the firefighters, because it didn't even break through the cross beams there. That to the left looks where it must have gone in, but it's an interesting thing that it just went straight in.
Straight in. There's a wall along the left side of that hole. As we look towards the south, you can see some of those support beams going across the right side of the hole. But that means, again, the total area of that hole is no more than 20 feet, and I'm being a little bit generous there. I think it's probably a little bit less than that, but essentially the fuselage and the wings of the plane just collided straight in into that area of the warehouse, which is pretty much smack dab in the middle of the building there. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. Just as we widen out, you can kind of get a better idea of the scale here, the size of the building versus the small hole there in the middle, as firefighters now are shooting water from inside the building, water coming through the roof, out with the smoke. So there are firefighters underneath the ceiling there trying to get water on this fire. They have made access to the plane crash, and now again trying to extract as many people as possible and get this fire out. We counted at least 3 people being treated outside of this facility, but right now the official numbers are very fluid. Numerous ambulances on the scene, additional units still arriving on scene. You can see firefighters now taking a breather outside in rotation here as they continue to battle this plane crash fire here in Fullerton.
You've got to imagine that fuel, unless the plane was empty of fuel, you've got to imagine that fuel is a problem on the inside of that building if there was fuel remaining in the plane. So Chris, we're going to just kind of keep your picture up here right now. We are about a minute away from Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock. I'm Philip Palmer along with Ellen Leyva. Chris Christie is in Air 7 HD. And again, we are following this breaking news, a plane crash very near the airport. It was on approach to landing and somehow, for some reason, went into this building. And it seems as if at this point it went straight into the building. So we are under 30 seconds away. We will pause, kind of allow ourselves, our director, our producer, to reset, and then we will start Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock, and we will make sure that you are up to date on all of the information that we have here in Fullerton.
This is Eyewitness News with live.
That's right, Philip. We're along Raymer Avenue here at the approach end of Fullerton Airport. You can see numerous fire crews arriving on scene here. There are firefighters inside of that warehouse battling that 4-alarm blaze caused by that plane crash that smashed through the middle of the roof of this warehouse. There are several people being treated for injuries on the exterior of the building. We do not have a firm count of total patients as of yet, but again, firefighters inside the building as well as on the roof of the building attempting to ventilate this fire. A heavy fire in the moments after this crash, now appearing much less ominous as they start to get a handle on it. The smoke is dissipating. You can see it's taking on a lighter shade, but coming from other parts of the building. So it's perhaps spreading a little bit, but it does appear the overall amount of smoke is decreasing. They are getting water on that fire as they try and figure out what they are dealing with inside of that building, that plane, leaving behind a gaping hole no more than 10, 20 feet in the middle of that building. You can see water coming from the sprinkler system there as well as from the inside of the building as firefighters continue to battle this blaze. Again, we're just about a couple hundred yards away from the approach end of Fullerton Airport as this small single engine fixed wing plane was on its final approach here in Fullerton, guys. Yeah, we don't have official confirmation, and we don't want to. There are some identifiers going around online, but I have not exactly confirmed the type of aircraft, although it is reported to be a very small single-engine aircraft with about 4 seats, potentially up to 4 people in the plane. We don't know if anybody other than the pilot was actually inside this aircraft, but there are reports that this is a 4-seater. And again, we don't have official numbers yet, but you can tell about how small it was just, again, based on the size of that hole. So hopefully the amount of carnage inside is limited due to the small area of the building that was affected here. We can only hope that the people inside this building, which is reported to be a furniture warehouse, although we are still trying to clarify that as well, but a reported furniture warehouse is on fire. By the way, furniture itself is fairly flammable, so if there's a large amount of material in there, certainly that would also contribute to the fire on top of the fuel inside the plane. So they are contending with a number of factors here, but it does appear that overall this fire is starting to take on a less threatening site here. But you can see firefighters outside of that warehouse, at least 3 people that we've counted with fairly minor injuries. You can see a number of stretchers set up there, but mostly just people being tended to with arm and leg injuries, it appears.
Yeah, we were saying during our streaming coverage that perhaps the warehouse was semi-empty because of the holiday week, so we can only hope that's the case.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much. We'll continue to monitor the circumstances here. And again, we do not know about the severity of casualties. We will have to wait and see.
Meantime, we do have more breaking news in New Orleans. The city's famous Bourbon Street now back open to the public just one day after the deadly terror attack.
The FBI sharing new details in the case, and for the first time, we're hearing from...
Copy that. Copy that. Air 7 control room, you up? Hey, are you coming back to us? Minute 30 live picture. Copy that. Very good. Copy that. I have no, I hear you, I don't hear anything else, no programming. Here we go. Got it. Yep, got it. And lost it. Hey there, Philip. You're taking a live look at that warehouse here in Fullerton along Raymer Avenue next to Fullerton Airport, where that plane, a small plane, has left a hole in the middle of the building. Firefighters still getting water on the fire. You can see the sprinkler system has been activated. Light smoke still billowing from the middle of that structure. There are several people being tended to outside of the building. As for official casualty counts, we do not have those numbers just yet, but there are reported casualties here in this plane crash and occupied building, now being evacuated here in Fullerton. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Hey there, go ahead. Copy that. You heard that, Josh? Yep. Go ahead. Copy that. Very good. Thank you. Sure. Yep. Oh, you're saying with the, sorry. Copy. I was going to say, let me see if that works. Yeah, it needs to go a little louder. Much better. Yep, sounds good. Go ahead. Copy. Two and a half. 30 seconds, you got it. 1 minute. Thirty seconds. Here we go. Fifteen seconds. Here we go. Widen out. That's right, Philip. You're looking at the hole inside of a warehouse here in Fullerton along Raymer Avenue after a small plane has crashed into this building. We can now report that there are at least 11 injuries being tended to right now. We do not have any confirmation of any fatalities. Again, this was a small single-engine aircraft that collided into the middle of this building at the approach end of the runway at Fullerton Airport. There you see Fullerton Fire Department on the scene down there tending to some of those injuries. As we get more information, we will bring it right to you. Reporting live from Pier 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. You got it. Copy that. Go ahead, Jay. Yes, that should be doable. If we do 4:15, are they open for fuel? Was the Long Beach? If we do Long Beach, will we make it here for the 5 o'clock? Probably not. No, Long Beach will probably be the closest and quickest, but probably won't make it back in 45 minutes. Copy. If we leave at 4:15, the likelihood of making it back by 5, I think, is slim. Yeah. Copy that. Go ahead. That should work. Alan, smoke still emanating from the roof of that warehouse there, a small plane colliding in the center of this large structure here in an industrial area along Raymer Avenue in Fullerton. Again, this happened about an hour ago. Fire department on scene down there treating 11 injuries. We do not have any reports of fatalities yet. Reporting live, Framer 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. You're saying Long Beach over John Wayne, right? I think that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Got it. We can, okay. I did. FYI, we've now been given permission to refuel here at Fullerton. Probably play it safe anyways. Ten-4. Hey, Jay, go ahead. I'm sorry, where'd you get the 15 from? Copy. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm guessing maybe the 15th is the pilot or whatever, but that sounds right. What is that? Oh. Oh. Wow. You don't see the actual plane now. All right, when playback's ready, we'll go ahead and lay that look live down. Hey, Jay, go ahead. Copy that. I feel safe saying more than a dozen injuries. You like that? I was just saying, I feel safe saying more than a dozen injuries. (10-4). Here we go, and ready when you are. Here we go, in 3, 2. Welcome back to Eyewitness News. Chris Christie up in Air 7. You can see a plane crash here in Fullerton, leaving Hull in the middle of this warehouse along Raymer Avenue. Fire crews on scene treating some of the injured. We understand there are upwards of a dozen injuries in total. At least 11 people have been transported to the hospital. Reporting from Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Copy. Here we go. Let me know when you're ready. Stand by. Hey, Jay, go ahead. Sounds good. What you got? Copy that. Thank you. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2. Welcome back to Eyewitness News. Chris Christie up in Air 7, where you can see the hole left behind after a plane crash. Here we go. In 3, 2. Welcome back to Eyewitness News. Chris Christie up in Air 7, where a plane has crashed into a warehouse in Fullerton. You're taking a live look at the aftermath of that plane crash. A small hole left behind there. The fire still burning. You can see the sprinkler system has been activated as firefighters finally get this fire under control. We understand there have been a number of injuries, including 11 people transported to the hospital, 6 people treated on the scene, and 1 person has been killed. This all happened as that small plane was attempting to land at Fullerton Airport. We will have the very latest coming up. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Hey, Christy, go ahead. Copy. Copy that. Yeah, that's right. You can see the aftermath of that plane crash. A small four-seater aircraft, a Vans RV-10, a kit aircraft, crashing into the roof of this warehouse, apparently a furniture warehouse here in Fullerton along Raymer Avenue at the end of Fullerton Airport's runway. You can see a number of firefighters still on the scene down there. Most of the victims have been treated. We understand under more than a dozen injuries overall total, and then the single fatality that is now being reported. You can see a major investigation about to get underway here in Fullerton. Reporting live, Bear 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Copy. Copy. All right, we're clear.